I'm trying to set this up real quick for our first live stream ever of the Discipline Diaries. So, if you've tuned in to the first week, you've obviously seen that we talked a lot about motivation, why it's a scam, your excuses, why they're not valid, and how we can build discipline for the rest of 2025 or whatever year you are starting to watch this series on. So, as you are chiming in, please don't forget to put your thoughts in the chat, of course, because I will address them. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to let everyone kind of spill in. Just going to get a little tripod set up. But as we are waiting for people to kind of join, just remember, if you're waiting to feel motivated, if you're already losing, and what I mean by if you're already losing is that you're waiting for motivation, you're waiting for that willpower, you're waiting for that like sign to just get started. The sign is now. The sign is the fact that you are the sign. You are the determining factor of whether you're going to start working on your goals or not. That is you. That is up to you. 100%. So I'm just setting you up on my tripod, so just mind me for a second. It's been an absolute crazy day, but I committed to this. So when we talk about discipline, we talk about commitments, we talk about doing what we say we're going to do. That is me. And I have a crazy schedule, but I wanted to do these live streams so that everyone has an opportunity to be engaged, ask the questions they have. So I'm actually pulling up a different browser so that I can make sure I don't miss a single question or comment or something I can address while we're on here. So I am just pulling up the chat box. Here we go. So I'm going to monitor this real time. All right. So again, thank you so much for being here. This is the first official week of the Discipline Diaries. And what is the point of this? The point is to build discipline in every aspect of your life. Discipline has been a buzzword for way too long. So we are turning a buzzword into an actual lifestyle. And if you tuned into the first week of Thursday and Sunday, so I dropped a video today and I dropped a video on Thursday, it's incredible. We're going through every layer of discipline you can think of. So this week was just motivation. We talked about excuses in depth today. Next week, we are going to the gym and I'm trying to, okay, there we go. Don't get up on I will never give up on a YouTube journey. It's what's your name? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Cool. I am so happy to see everyone here. So we're going to get right into it. Again, welcome to the Discipline Diaries. I'm saying this again because I'm reading comments at the same time. This is our first official live stream on YouTube. There are so many more in store, and I'm so excited to see everyone here. So please drop your comments and questions as we go. Why is my live chat not working? I'm trying to open on a different browser because I'm obviously filming horizontally. So I want to make sure I can read everything because I can't read sideways. But this has been the first week. There are 8 weeks planned. There is going to be a Thursday drop, Sunday drop. You've already seen those. We talked about motivation. We talked about excuses. We are trying to get better, get really clear on our goals, but also understand like how do we build discipline, right? We see a ton of videos about like discipline is the answer and be hardcore and do hard things, but like how do we actually do that? And I can't wait for next week's video because I'm actually bringing you to the gym with me. I'm going to show you my workouts. I am going to show you, oh, I see everything now. Okay, cool. My chat box has gone up, which is awesome. Sweet, this is great. So hi, Alex, Taser. What's up, everybody? Awesome, awesome. So it's going to be a super fun time because we are going to go over so much. We're going to go to the gym. I'm going to actually meal prep with you, show you some of the recipes that I use. It's not just about that stuff either. Like fitness is such a major foundation of my life. But besides that, there are so many other business. How do I build the mental fortitude? How do I get past those moments of, I don't want to, I don't want to do it, but discipline is when you do things whether you want to or not. So we're going to break down again, why motivation is a scam. Did everyone here watch Thursday's video? And do you agree or disagree? Drop it in the chat right now. If you agree or disagree, put a thumbs up or thumbs down, or you can put words. Is motivation a scam? Is it a scam, or is it something that you solely rely on? That is what I'm curious to know. Okay, so I am opening up. Here we go. Okay, cool. I am trying to engage at the chat at the same time, but it's very interesting. So, okay, before we get super deep into it, I want everyone to drop what is one goal you struggled with because of the lack of motivation or too many excuses. Please tell me now if that is something that resonates with you. Is it something that you blame on motivation, like, oh, I don't have enough energy to do this. I'm gonna move you around so you can have a little bit more light. Here we go. Is motivation something that you rely solely on to make your decisions? Is it excuses? Are you too old? Do you not have enough money? Do you, like, whatever excuse it is, drop it in the chat so we can discuss this further. So I'm gonna open this up. Okay, if so, what is your, are you cycling? No, I am not. I am one, and I assume when people say cycling, I immediately assume steroids and things like that. No, I am 100% natural. And what I'm actually doing next week is getting a full blood panel done, as I am 32 years old. I am very active, and I want to make sure that everything is on par. And if it's not, I want to flag those things and figure out what I can implement. I've looked up many different peptide companies and different things like that to optimize my way of living, but also help the recovery process. Because as many of you know, and you can drop it in the chat, what are things you struggle with if you are super active? Do your joints hurt? Are you lethargic? Is it hard to get energy? Like different things like that. That is what I'm looking into. I want to see what all there are so many incredible blood panels you can get done beyond just the standard. So I'm actually paying for a panel to be done to test a ton of different things. When it comes to your liver health, your heart health, recovery time, but also hormones, everything. I'm getting everything tested literally next week, and I will document the process because I think it's incredibly important to take care of your body to optimize. And especially if you're athletic or active, you need to be checking things. If you're trying to expand your family, if you're trying to continue to stay active, very important. Let me read some comments. Your son is so cute. Thank you. He is my absolute life. He did make an appearance in today's video. If you watch the drop, it dropped at 12 p.m. Central Time. He did make an appearance in it, and I expect him to make some more appearances. He he loves YouTube, as many kids nowadays do. So it's fun to have him kind of jump in it from time to time. Laziness, okay. Having my fourth think. Something. Hill. Can I ask you something? Why? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by ignoring? What do you mean? So anyways, so we're going to kind of go on. So I used to, high school, right? Like you're talking about childhood. I was not an athlete, okay? I got cut from softball, volleyball, soccer, all these different sports that my family had previously done. I come from a big baseball family, big sports family, and I just could not find the love for the sport. I think there's a difference between being good at something and then liking something. Some people do things that they really enjoy, and they might be really good at it too, which is great. Some people do things, they're great at it, but they don't enjoy it. For me, sports was something I did not enjoy and also wasn't that great at. However, if I felt I had the other, like if I was really good at a sport, I would have naturally wanted to put more effort towards that. That was not my story. So instead, I joined track and field and cross country, which is an individual sport, as many of you know. And so what happened is that was great, right? Like I was able to just get active because I was like, hey, I'm going to join the Army. I'm going to go to ROTC. So I need to be good at sports to some extent. I need to be able to run. So basically what happened is I got cut from all these other sports. I did all the track and field, cross country. I got prepped to at least have that endurance, that base endurance for ROTC. And that's where I discovered my athleticism. I thought for the longest time that being an athlete meant I need to be doing sports. Sports that included soccer, football, softball, baseball, whatever it was. And I just did not have that. So I found this incredible app for being in the gym, for being an endurance athlete. I could run, I could climb. I learned to climb a rope in college, and I thought that was something that was absolutely out of this world. That was incredible for me to do for the first time. We ran with logs. We were lifting heavy weights. I learned to do like CrossFit type things. So there was a lot of different things and elements of fitness that were introduced to my life when I was 19 years old in college, and I became an athlete. So that's where that starts. Let me read through some of these. Else really watch. It says laziness is my problem. Oh, so laziness is my problem. So I don't think I think laziness. So what I said in my last video from today is that laziness is what most people attribute is the reason why you're not achieving your goals. I think laziness is an easy cop out. I think laziness is an easy excuse to make for not being able to achieve what you want. Really, it's your situation. It is your environment. Are you priming your environment to set you up for success? Sorry if you hear my dogs in the back. They're going absolutely ape because everyone's outside right now. It's a beautiful day in Texas if anyone's in this side of the in the side of the world. I'm just reading through at the same time. I see a ... from Melvin. Please expand on that if you would like to. If not, totally fine. But as we talked about in my videos, motivation is emotion driven, unreliable, right? Our motivation changes with the weather because our emotions change with the weather. It could be based on what we eat, what we do. Did we just go through a breakup? There are so many different things. If we have a bad day at work, our motivation is going to reflect the things we're normally doing. It's based on our emotions, and our emotions we know are unstable. So we cannot 100% rely on motivation or willpower to get through our day, to get to our goals, to do the things we say we're going to do. Those, like the motivation, the willpowers, though, that category of emotions and feelings and drive is based on how you feel in a single moment. Discipline is something you built with a system of habits over a long period of time. And building habits is something that takes a long period of time. You might have heard it takes, what is it, like 21 days to build a habit? That's absolutely not true. It takes more like over 60 days to build a habit. And for most of you, that is 3 months. So think just generally 3 months to build a solid habit of going to the gym, eating right, building a business, studying, reading something to become better, learning a study of some kind. Are you trying to learn a new skill? That is based on at least 3 months of consistent effort of showing up. So you'll never, ever feel like always doing the hard things. But the people who succeed, they do those things anyways. That is where discipline is different from motivation. That is when you show up on the days you don't want to, you show up on the days you do, but the days that you show up when you don't feel like it are the most important. Those are the most impactful. Please let me know in the comments. I'm trying to make sure I'm reading. Thank you everyone for being here, by the way. And this is our first live stream, so bear with me as I'm reading through comments at the same time as I'm going through what I want to talk about. But most of this is meant to be interactive. So whenever you have a moment that you're like, hey, I have something to say, like, please let me know. This is the most important part of it, is to make sure that your questions get answered, that we have a real conversation, and that it's based on what you want to know more about, not just what I want to talk about. So anyway, so going off of this week, which is mostly motivation, excuses, everything like that. Have you ever watched a motivational video, felt hyped, and then did nothing after it, right? This could be David Goggins. This could be anything. You type in motivational video in the search bar and a ton of things will pop up. There are pages who make money dedicated just slapping together a bunch. Have you ever felt those emotions of what is it? Yeah. If you've ever felt the emotions of being super motivated and then did nothing about it because after 10 minutes or so you're like, I'm totally timed out of this. I just got a question. How do you overcome the daily work stress? So, my daily work stress has changed drastically in the last year. So, anyone who's following my personal journey, and if you're not, thank you again for being here. Here it is, really quick. 1 year ago, yesterday, I left my 9 to 5 job, and now I'm a full time entrepreneur. But giving up your 9 to 5 job is giving a 9 to 5 up stability for the job to work 24/7, because an entrepreneur does not end. You don't have weekends or vacations. You're always working, you're always doing all these different things. So how do I overcome the daily work stress? I always, one, make time for fitness. That is absolutely the most important thing. So when I drop my son off for school, I'm already dressed and ready to go to the gym. I go to the gym after I drop my son off, because the gym for me is a physical release of any stress in my exterior environment. That is the time that I can think clearly. I can work on myself and achieve my own personal goals. And it's just a time that, I mean, that's really it. It's therapy. At the end of the day, it's therapy for me. So there's a lot of things with overcoming daily work stress. And one of them is really holding true to my boundaries. It is making sure that I don't allow things that don't align with my personal goals to interfere with me. It's learning to say no to opportunities, which I've had to do recently, which is really weird. As a new entrepreneur, you want to say yes to everything, right? There's this inclination that you need to say yes to everything, because if I don't say yes, I might not have a gig, right? I might not have a job. But you have to know when something doesn't align with your personal goals. Does that company that wants to work with you not have very good values? Do they have horrible reviews? Are they just not good to people? Are they not willing to pay you what you're worth and what you're asking? It is okay to say no. So that has been a big one too, is like battling that and overcoming the stress, is making sure that A, I take care of myself, and two, I know my back for it. So again, if you're new here, I do photography, I do videography, I do content creation. I have gigs with developing podcasts and videos for other companies. And that's something that like is mind blowing to me. Like, I'm doing content and platforms for other people, but you have to know when something doesn't align with you. And if you do not have boundaries, and if you have boundaries and don't respect them yourself, nobody else is going to respect them for you. Very, very important. But I think the answer to your question is definitely the first part, which is taking care of yourself. If there is any type of stress, you need to find what calms you. What is it? Is it reading a book? Is it going to the gym? Is it going on a walk? Is it spending time with people that you love and care about? You need to identify what that is, and then make sure you do that every single day. You need to make sure you go on a walk with your family or your loved one, significant other, whatever it is. Read a book that you love reading. Going to the gym, doing the things that you love to do. That is what is going to ease the stress, is pouring into yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And that is what I'll say there. So, anyways, if I've only trained on days that I felt like it, and again, this is back to discipline. So if I only trained on the days I felt like it, I'd probably good meals, but showing up, even when I don't want to, is actually what builds the results. And again, I use fitness a lot because that is what I have spent so much time in, is the fitness environment. But now as an entrepreneur, I'm realizing, okay, I'm not always motivated, right? I don't always feel like generating a ton of content. I don't always feel like showing up to shoot 6 hours of film and then having to edit it all. So you have to realize, as a content creator, you're not only shooting this stuff, you are also editing, producing, maybe even captioning, giving them all the interesting things that they need to put into their videos or content. So you have to realize that there is so much more to it, and you're not always going to be motivated. And motivation might be the spark, that willpower might be the spark, but discipline is the fuel that keeps that fire burning, that help, like, you need, or what, if you want to feed your family, if you want to continue to fuel the life that you love, you need to continue to be disciplined and show up on the days that you do not want to. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit more. We'll try my best to find that pinpoint. Awesome, I love to hear that. It's Sam King. I'm going to call you Sam. I don't know if that's appropriate. Let me know if it's not or is. But Love to hear that feedback. Thank you for that very insightful question. That is a great question. And a lot of people ask, like, how do you overcome stress, but also how do you balance work-life balance? That is such a common question in any field that you're in, whether it's corporate or entrepreneur or whatever it is in between, right? So the thing is with work-life balance, I don't personally believe in balance, period. Balance, I think, is another myth, much like motivation, because at the end of the day, do you really think you can give 50% to family, loved ones, recreation, whatever you want to call it, and 50% to your business? No. There are going to be some days where 70% of your efforts go towards your business because it's just starting, and the other percent goes to your family. And then, on other days, it's going to be 100% because you're on vacation. You're like, I'm on full vacation mode. My family is getting everything that, all 100% of me. It's never going to be a perfect 50-50 split. It's just not possible. So when anyone asks about work-life balance, I just immediately resort to prioritization. Priorities. What are your priorities? What is the most important to you right now, in the next month, in this quarter, in this year, whatever it is? What is the most important thing? And figure out from there, how are you going to achieve these things? So when you know your top, let's say 3 to 5 priorities, your 3 to 5 important things in your life, then you narrow down how are you going to achieve each. And then which ones are going to get the most attention? Is it like, hey, I just want to build a banging body. I want to build my business. I want to make sure I don't forget about my family. Those are 3 amazing goals, and everyone's looks differently. But then you look at those 3 things and you think about the different tasks under it. Like, how do you achieve these 3 things? But one by one. And then, okay, what can I do this week? What can I do the next day? What can I do today? And you figure out how you could do those things. It's all about priorities. So figure out what those are. If you're ever stuck, just go back to your personal values and write out your goals physically. Sam can work. Okay. Awesome. So if you've listened to all my videos, you've seen all the excuses, and I talked about motivation as a scam. I absolutely hate, like, oh, here's a motivational tip. Here's how you get motivated. Like, okay, cool. You might get, and the thing is, it's real, right? You can get motivated for a second at a time, a minute at a time, maybe 10 minutes at a time. And guess what? It flies away. It flies away like a little butterfly. Your motivation is going to fly away. And that's where the excuses come from too. It's like, I don't have time, right? You might be motivated for 10 minutes and then like all of a sudden you don't have time, or you don't feel like it, or I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I'm not well known enough. I don't have the skill set. I don't have the degree in this. Guess what? I am in a position right now where I'm the director of marketing. Guess what my degree is in college? Not marketing. My degree in college, I have a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. That has nothing to do with marketing or media, content creation, videography, photography. Everything that I do now has nothing to do with my degree. Am I saying your college education doesn't matter? No. But I was not intentional when I went into college. When I went into college, my goal was to go full-time active duty in the military. And I did. I got active duty. I served in the military for just shy of 5 years. And my college degree, I needed to have a college degree to be an officer, to commission from ROTC at my college. And guess what? That degree served me 0% in the civilian life, because when I exited the Army, I did not do anything with my degree. I actually went into management for a plumbing wholesale distribution company. Again, nothing to do with my college degree. So if you are in a STEM study, I'm saying we need doctors, we need engineers, we need all these different things, but be intentional. If you're going to school, if you're listening to this and you are under the age of 25 and you're looking at colleges, and usually my demographic is a little bit older than that, but if you happen to be listening to this, don't think that college is the answer to what you're going to be when you're older. I did not know nor respect what I wanted to be when I was older. I didn't even know the right questions to ask. So that is one of the biggest parts. Adam, motivation is momentary, discipline is the investment for longevity. I love that. And then Sam, 50% work and 50% family, and somewhere between that, I think I'm losing myself. So I would need to know a little bit more from you, Sam King, with specifically, so that I can make sure to address that and maybe give you some ideas. Again, nothing is prescription here. Everything is from my personal experience, but also just, again, it's really personal experience and my own perspective. Everyone needs to be able to wake up and look at their own life and assess that for themselves. But 50-50 split is extremely hard to measure and also really hard to not lose yourself in the process. So that was something as a single mom for many years I struggled with, was like, how do I give my son the life that he deserves, right? At the same time that I'm trying to make sure I make money for my family, whether it's a business or just a 9 to 5 or a combination of both, which it was for a while before I quit my 9 to 5 to go full-time entrepreneur. That is a very difficult place to be, where I felt like I was splitting 50-50, but really there, as much as we say that, you're truly splitting it in a different percentage. Again, sometimes family gets 30%, sometimes it gets 70, sometimes it gets full 100. You have to understand that balance is not the answer. Balance is definitely not extremely possible either. Again, prioritizing. So you have to know, what are you truly aiming for? What business goals do you have, or job goals do you have, and how can you obtain those without taking away from your family, right? Like, hey, these next 2 days, I'm doubling down on my business venture, and you're telling your family that. So I need these next 2 days to solely focus on that. And then the next 2 days, I will focus solely on my family. Again, it is priority. It is understanding where you're going, but you have to be so insanely clear on your goals to be able to make that work, to make that possible, and to manifest that into existence. If you don't know actually what you're doing or what your goals are, how are you going to get there? If you don't know the roads to take, if you don't know where you're going, how can you get there? So my goal to you, Sam King 786, is to identify, where are you trying to go? That way, it is much easier to discover and to identify a roadmap to get there. So I hope that that helps, and I appreciate everyone writing in the comments right now. So before we hop off, this is going to be a shorter one today as it's the first one, but I just want to show, like, or tell you and allude to the fact that, like, next week I told you we are getting into the gym. We're talking fitness and mindset, but discipline and fitness, in fitness specifically, it's a non-negotiable for me. So what does that mean? Like, habit stacking, time blocking, making it easier to start the process, removing the escape hatch, all of these different things. And if you haven't watched the videos yet, I highly recommend you watch the last videos from Thursday and today of the Discipline Diaries. So briefly, habit stacking is attaching new habits to existing ones. So if you always, work out after coffee, journal before you go to bed, whatever, right? So I always drink a cup of coffee in the morning. Cool. Now I'm going to attach going to the gym. So I'm going to drink a cup of coffee and then go to the gym. So you are attaching new habits to existing habits that are already there. I always drink a cup of coffee in the morning. Now I'm also going to drink an electrolyte water in the morning, right? Okay, so you're attaching that new habit. Hey, I always lay in bed and scroll social media for 10, 20 minutes. Cool. I want you to journal now before you start scrolling. Hey, I'm getting ready for bed. I'm now going to journal. And I don't think people realize how amazing and lucrative journaling is, because not only are you documenting your life as it's happening, you're also identifying different hiccups potentially, like that you can hand to your kid or your kids the next year, but also something that you can learn from. There are so many times I refer to my journals and I go, wow, that's a learning point. That's something that I learned, 5, 10 years ago that I can be applying right now to my life. And I'm just reading this thing. Let me know the times you're live again. Yes, so I am going live every Sunday at the same time, 6 p.m. Central Time. That is when I'll be going live for these next 8-week series. I will continue to go live, but I'll address that. But as the Discipline Diaries are going on, I will have long form videos every Thursday and every Sunday. And then Sunday evening, I will also go live to kind of summarize everything we've talked through, but as well as address any questions and really have a more interactive experience with the audience. So thank you for asking that question. Really awesome. And I will continue to go live. It just depends on time, but the next 8 weeks, it will be every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. So We talked about habit staffing, time blocking. I talked about this in 2 different videos now. I think it is one of those underrated things you can be doing for yourself. So time blocking, if it's scheduled, it gets done. If it's not, it doesn't exist. Easy as that. And if you need a reference, please go to my Fired on Friday or go to my recent video I posted. I did put the exact link to the timestamp of when I talked about time blocking in the caption. Always read the captions. I'll always link everything that I said I talked about. Make it easier to start. Lay out your gym clothes, prep your meals, set reminders on your phone. There are so many different ways to set yourself up for success. That is like, do you need to put your phone across the room so that when you wake up, you actually have to physically get up out of bed and turn your phone off? Is your gym clothes and shoes already laid out so that you have no excuse when you wake up to get ready for the gym? Do you need to sleep in your gym clothes to get ready for the gym in the morning the next day? Everything matters. Set yourself and your environment up for success, because after 60 plus days over a long period of time of doing these things, it will become second nature. And what did Tony say? Any tips for time blocking for demanding on-call jobs? So it depends on your specific schedule. So I can't say for sure. Hi, Dahlia. That's for Amy Fitz out there. Thank you for chiming in. And for Tony, the time blocks for demanding jobs. So what you need to do first is what I would suggest is lay out your actual schedule for your on-call job. And the thing is, again, you're going to have all those random things coming, right? I have family in the healthcare profession. They don't necessarily have a schedule that's very known, but they do have specific days off. So can you time block your specific days off? Can you optimize your break times, your off times? That is when I tell most of my clients when it came to the fitness worlds is like, okay, what are your days off from work? You don't work 7 days a week as a hairdresser, as a teacher, whatever it is, right? So you have days off that you can optimize to serve you. So the first place I would tell you to go is what you already know. What is your 100%, excuse me, I'm suffering a little bit of allergies with the wind and everything going around right now. But what do you know for sure? Put that on your calendar, your Google Calendar or whatever. I like it to be very tangible in my Google Calendar, because anytime someone books me or wants to, I can go directly to my calendar and see, okay, am I already blocked for something? Yes, no. There's no maybe, there's no gray area. So go to your calendar. What do you already know for sure? When do you know you arrived to work? When do you know your breaks will be? And things are going to change, especially if you're on call. You are going to have times where something else is going to have to give, right? Like your demanding on-call job, as you said, is going to demand your efforts in that moment. So you need to utilize the time that you're not being demanded to be somewhere. That is going to be your optimal time. And then you schedule in things that you can throughout the day. If you already know you're on call from this time to this time, here are my break times. Optimize within those areas where you can perform whatever. It depends on what you're doing too. So time blocking for a demanding job, but what are you trying to do? Are you trying to build a business? Are you trying to just engage more? Are you trying to, it depends on what your goals are. So I don't know your goals at all. So you need to list those out first, is figure out what are you trying to do tangibly, like with very specifically, I'm trying to achieve this by this time, this amount of dollars, this business, whatever it is. And then you work it into your schedule. I can do 20 minutes during my break of deep study. I can do 20 minutes of journaling. I can do 20 minutes of freaking burpees in the break room. I don't know. You have to be very disciplined and understand where your boundaries are and what your time is. So I would need to know a lot more about your personal schedule, but I'd say, again, just to reverb, if anyone just jumped in, is understand your already known schedule, and any time that you're available, that is where you plug in all these extras to become better. I hope that helps. So in closing, I do want to close this out relatively soon, but I want you to pick one thing you'll commit to daily. Type it in the chat, something small, something doable, but something you will not skip. Is that going to the gym? Is that not going out to eat? Is that trying to use your breaks to learn something? And that could just be on your phone, right? You're at a break at a very busy job. You can learn something. You can learn like how to do SEO. You can learn how to start a content creation page. You can learn how to do anything on YouTube or anything like that. And okay, cool. Contact me on LinkedIn. Awesome. Sounds good. I appreciate you hopping on. But I want everyone here to commit to just one thing. Because again, with habits, you can't do 5 to 10 things at once. Start with one habit, slowly start to integrate that into your daily schedule, and then you stack a new one. And you get used to that, and then you stack another one. And then you're a completely unrecognizable person, okay? Because you have completely started to live a different life. You have new habits, a new way of living, a new way of an outlook on life. So you have to do one thing at a time. Take it in bite-sized chunks, just like what you would with any meal, right? You're not going to take the whole meal and just cover yourself in it, right? You're not going to eat the whole meal at once. You're going to take it in bite-sized chunks. Do the same thing with your habits every single day. So I appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you so much for the comments and the love and just being here. This is the very first week of the Discipline Diaries. I look forward to every Sunday for the next 8 weeks, talking to all of you, answering your questions, and being super engaged. And as well as every Thursday and Sunday, I will have video drops. Next week is fitness. I will be taking you to the gym and talking through my workouts. So let's hope that no one's like, who is this crazy person talking to? But I will be bringing you to the gym, showing you exactly what my schedule looks like. It is going to be an excellent 8 weeks. I appreciate all of you being here. Love you all. Thank you so much. And remember that I'm always here. I answer every freaking comment on my videos. So thank you so much. And we will talk soon. I just gotta get this off my phone.